Hello, my name is Tatina, and high school really sucks. So, I'm going to tell you how I skipped it and how I became a junior in university at 18 years old. So, it all started when my mom decided to homeschool me for middle school, and I was homeschooled for a few years and like 1 year of high school age. And so, I was homeschooled until about 15 years old. And while I was being homeschooled, I took CLEP exams. And those are like, I forgot what it stands for, but it's like college level exams. And you can look it up, CLEP exams. I'm sure they're everywhere. And I took those at 13 and 14. I took an intro to psych and an intro to sociology exam, and I passed them. And because I passed them, I got college credit. I think I barely passed them, but I passed them. So I got college credit for them, and that is still applicable to this day. Like, I'm almost done with my minor in psychology because I did that. So that was extremely helpful. I highly, highly recommend taking CLEP exams. But eventually, I was 15, and my mom said, okay, you have three options. You can go to high school, you can go to a public high school, you can continue homeschooling, or you can start college early at a community college. And I had heard a lot of horror stories about friends going to high school and drama, and I wasn't really interested in that. I also didn't really like the public high school that I was going to be going to, and I didn't want to be homeschooled anymore. No offense, mom. um, but I decided to go to a community college, and that was like the best decision that I made. So, I'm going to be looking over at my list on my computer of pros and cons of going to college early, because there are both pros and cons to it. So, the pros are no drama. I did not have any drama going to community college, which is really nice. I got an early head start to college and college credit. I did make friends. Um, I had I made friends in community college, and then there was a high school program at the community college. So I knew a couple people going into that, and I made some friends through that. Um, and then, yeah, I was a couple or a few years ahead in schooling. Like at 18, I'm I was a junior. I'm 19 now, and I'm a junior. But I started my junior year at university at 18 years old. Clearly, I got ahead a few years. Um, so, community college is like taking AP classes, but you're finishing your gen eds. Like, I would hear stories about my friends taking AP classes in high school, and I was like, we have really similar experiences. It's just like taking harder classes at high school, but you're getting college credit for it. I don't really like understand, and it's not just college credit. You're completing a degree. Like I got an associate's degree at 18, and my gen eds are completed, so I can just take at university courses for my degree. I don't have to mess around with gen eds. Um, I can still do sports if I wanted to. I'm not very athletic, but you can still do sports. And you get a really personal relationship with professors. Um, it's great. Like, you can talk to them. I'm gonna shout out to Gary, my chemistry teacher. I hated that class. Absolutely hated it. Loved him. And I passed those classes because we had a personal connection, not because I knew anything about chemistry. I don't know anything about chemistry. um, I was involved in a church group, so I was still making friends. Like, I know that sounds really cringy, but I I had fun. Was still able to make friends. I wasn't like socially inept. Um and yeah, to wrap all of that up, I put gen ed's finished 2 years ahead, less schooling, and I got a degree at 18. So now for the cons. There were no high school trips. Like, there were no you know, like sometimes in high school you'll go to Disney if you live in California, or, you know, things like that. You'll go on trips, or you'll go on, not like field trips that you get when you're in elementary school, but there are like trips that my friends went on in high school, and I felt like I missed out on that. I kind of wanted to go on those. No dances. I was invited to prom and I had a blast. I'll see if I can put a video in for prom. It was so much fun. I didn't have any high school friend groups, which come with a lot of drama, but they can also be a lot of fun. So, one of my friends just like had good friends, but they weren't great friends. Like, there was so much drama going on constantly, and I was totally there for hearing about it, but at the same time, I was like, I don't want to be a part of this. Like, I don't, I was there for her, emotionally there, but I personally didn't want to have that experience. But I also heard some really good experiences from friends who had an amazing group, and I kind of felt like I missed out on that. That was a little disappointing. So, mixed feelings about that. But, um, and then friends in community college don't usually stick. Like, you meet people of all ages, so you'll have a class with someone and you're like getting along with them really well. And then you find out they're like 30 with like 4 kids. And you're like, oh, we have nothing in common besides getting a degree. So that kind of sucks sometimes. Like, I did make friends, but not all of them have stuck with me, if that makes sense. And I was asked out by a lot of guys. Not a lot, I'm not trying to brag, but I was asked out by a few guys, and they were shocked by my age. You know what's really funny is the older I got in community college, the less I was asked out. So when I was 15, I got asked out a few times, and I feel like that says something. Overall, it was a great experience for me. It was my version of high school, and it got me through life, and it was a great experience. I'm really fortunate that I was able to do it, and hopefully this is helpful to some people if anyone watches this. CLEP exams, just skip. Just skip high school. Also, I'm in a state where I was able to use ESA funds. I don't know if that's everywhere. But ESA funds are great. Pretty much the state pays for like school supplies and college. So it was really great. But overall, again, great experience. I had fun. I had friends. And now I'm ahead in school and I don't have to take gen eds. I will say before closing out, one con about, well, transferring over to university from community college is that I have less time to do clubs and groups and things like that at university because I'm a junior transferring in. But I'm also totally done with gen eds, and I can stay at college if I want to. I can stay at university to get like a master's or something. That's not always available to everyone. That's not always an available option, but I'm very fortunate to be able to do that because of scholarships and things like that. So always go for scholarships. Always go for doing the best that you possibly can in school, and it'll get you very far in life. So that's it. Hopefully someone watches this. Hopefully someone gets something out of it. But that's my experience.